Joint working and cooking. This is about some work that I've been involved with a group of students at Totton College in Southampton. That group are 6 young adults who have severe autism and learning disabilities. I'm there as part of a therapy outreach service which is provided by Trelaws, and we provide a multidisciplinary service of speech and language therapy, occupational therapy and physio, and we aim to work really closely with the teaching staff in an ongoing, sustained way. So Friday mornings at Totton are really good fun. It's all about cooking. The idea is that these particular students cook their own lunch and then eat together, which is the perfect format really for working on functional communication skills. Last term I started working with their tutor to make sure they were getting the most out of those sessions, and there's been a little team of us involved. The OT and myself and the tutor, we sat down, had a discussion about the group, looked at some of the things that weren't working quite so well, and between us identified some of the challenges. What can go wrong when you're cooking? Well, if you have a look at the slide, there are some examples. Cooking is really complicated, and when we looked at what was going on, it wasn't clear that the students really understood what they were doing, and it was quite difficult to monitor what was going on as well. But that was all stuff that we could target therapeutically, educationally, as a team. So we came up with a plan, a new approach to the sessions, drawing on ideas from all of us together. We chose one key recipe, pasta bolognese bake, and we repeated that over a 6-week block. So by doing the same thing repetitively, the students could really start to focus on developing some core skills. The sessions became predictable and we could figure out what was and what wasn't working. We wanted consistent one-to-one staffing, so the same member of staff with the same student every week, presenting tasks in the same way and measuring progress reliably. We wanted to incorporate some sensory activities for particular students, and the OT was really involved with this, working out how long we could really reasonably expect students to engage for, and then balancing those cooking activities with sensory ones and also time out for communication activities as well. We wanted clear instructions and targets, so we decided the best way to do that was by creating this flip chart cookery book, which was individualised for each student. So we wanted them to understand what they were doing, how they were going to do it, and what level of support staff needed to give them at each stage. It sounds easy. We wanted the students to have more control progressively over the tasks as the weeks went by. And my focus was thinking about those cookery instructions. So I was thinking about language abilities, about how many steps students could cope with in one go, whether we needed symbolised instructions, whether we needed photo prompts or PEC strategies. Whatever it was that a particular student needed, that's what we did. And we created this resource for each student with photos and symbols, a flip chart book which broke down every single task, and that was every single task. And you'll see in a minute the instructions for peeling and chopping carrots, which sounds quite simple, but that was on 9 separate pages. Each step was broken down to aid the students' understanding of the task and to allow staff to assess what they could and couldn't do independently and where they needed to give their support. We had key symbols at the top of each page, so the students have been learning to use those. Each task either involved finding something, ingredients or equipment, or doing something, and that was signalled at the top for them. We also marked if a task was particularly hazardous, so if they needed to ask for help or for supervision. And we had prompts at the bottom of the page, so at each step the learner had to check, have I done it? Am I ready to turn the page? And they've been doing really, really well with learning to use that system. Did it work? That was the question. Well, yes, it did. Yay! The sessions became more organised, less noisy. The staff were focused much more on the students' targets, and we began to notice some progress. One student learned how to make cheese sauce almost completely independently. Another one learned to recognise and collect his bowl from the cupboard on his own as well, which was a really big achievement for him, and much, much more. So I want to encourage SLTs to roll up their sleeves and get cooking. It's a great way to incorporate language and communication activities into a practical activity. But I think the point was with this project, it was the joint working that made the difference. Joint working is effective. It directly benefits students. I don't think that any one of us, myself or the OT or the tutor, could have made those changes on our own. It really needed that joined up approach from all of us. It doesn't have to be about cooking, but the one advantage is that you do end up with delicious lunch at the end of the morning, which is great. So if you get a chance to do some cooking with your clients, then grab it.